Hello guys, welcome to Fashion 40. My name is Kwame Vegas and I'm live here at the Kempinski Hotel for the Landfills2Landmarks conference happening live here. And it has been a brilliant conversation so far, but we're here to take one great individual in the fashion industry, her take on this entire event as to whether it's going to impact the Ghanaian fashion industry or not. So, quickly, hello, Madam Hillary. Welcome to Fashion 40.
Thank
You
you.
look you look simple but cute.
Thank you so much. Very
I like
kind of
that,
you.
and you're always maintaining your natural beauty.
You're very kind.
I
Thank you.
love that smile, by
Thank
the way.
you. Thank you.
Just a quick one. Just a quick one. You've been through and through this event, or this conference for some time, but I had to grab you for a quick conversation. First off, kindly tell us who you are. Probably there are many people out there who don't know who you are. Can you share with us who you are first of all?
My name is Hilary Andoh, and I'm a friend, an advocate, and a supporter and a lover of the Ghanaian fashion industry.
What's the general take, first of all, of this entire conference?
I get the conversation. I understand where they're coming from. They're definitely looking out for their interests. In fact, when I first got here, I received the flyer, and the flyer was an ad from a UK exporter of used clothing to Ghana. And my first take was interesting because I saw the conference name and theme, so I was quite confused. I sat in a bit and I get the conversation, but it is almost antithesis to what we want to do for the Ghanaian fashion industry. Not to knock anyone's hustle or work or source of income. I get that this is what they do. They are importers of used good clothing, and it is their business. And that is not helpful to our Ghanaian fashion industry. Our designers can never compete with the rates or the price tag of importers. So the only way this conference, this gathering, and these partners can help us, or if the only way for it to be impactful is if one, they streamline their processes, and two, if they figure out a way to help develop our industry. So whilst in one hand you have your business and you're importing your clothing, is there funding to help our fashion industry develop and to grow? Because if I'm buying a used shirt for 100 CDs or 200 CDs, there is no way a designer, even a designer on the low end, can compete with that. Because the fashion designer has to pay for designers, creatives, to pay for patent makers, to pay for overhead costs, to pay for utilities, and they can never compete. So how we can both coexist in this ecosystem is whilst you're making your money importing, streamline the process, help develop the fashion industry, and find a more sustainable way to get rid of your waste or repurpose it.
That's a good one. Don't you also think that because of our taste for these thrifts, clothing, that is the reason why they are here,
No,
basically to also.
absolutely. So I understand, and again, it's their business, right? And of course, business does not thrive. You're right, does not thrive in absentia, right? There has to be a demand for it. So there is a demand. So also, again, it is also a call to our Ghanaian fashion designers. Our people love their simple white T-shirts. They want their button-down shirts. They want their dress pants. They want their skirts and their trousers. They want jeans. Can you create simple things like that for these people? Of course, you can never compete at that price point. And I truly believe that as Ghanaians, we have to see our fashion industry as an act of love, patronizing our Ghanaian brands as our way of being patriotic, because they can never compete at the scale at which one, importers can compete with used clothing, and two, they can never compete the same way as Western brands because we don't have the facilities, so our industry is not as developed to be able to compete on that level. So you're patronizing a Ghanaian fashion brand. It's an act of love, it's a revolution, and it is a patriotic act.
Well said. So, what role does the government play in this? Because I mean, we've had this conversation like severally,
Right.
and it looks like we hear good manifestos,
Right.
but we never see the factor of
Right.
the fashion
Right.
industry. So, how can the government come in
Right.
terms of production?
Right.
Because like we are competing with people who are producing like so many
Right.
clothing
Right.
at a very fast rate.
Right.
So, how can they also come in and
Right.
project the industry?
So there are different things that government can do. One, again, stakeholder engagement, to get the right people who are on the ground doing the work, right, to have the conversations, to hear their concerns. Some of the concerns are, we have been in business for 15 years. We've never gotten a tax break or grants or incentive. Simple things like, can we get our governments to help us so that, let's say, when we're exporting our goods or we're shipping something, that the government has a special code, arranges with, let's say, the likes of UPS, DHL, FedEx. So we have a special code when we're exporting so that it can reduce our overhead costs. Can we have things like tax incentives? Can we have things like grants to help us? Is there a way that we can have a manufacturing hub that can take an order of just 100? We do have some manufacturing plants in Ghana, but some of them have a minimum order requirement. How many fashion brands or how many fashion houses can afford to produce 500 pieces every month? And that's just not. So that is it. There's a need for dialogue. One, government, persons like myself, and then people in the industry as well, who can have a conversation to come up with a plan that is practical and that is realistic and that is actually helpful.
Just a quick one. I just want to ask, don't you think the word sustainability has been abused? Because in this regard, we are looking at thrifts.
Right.
And you know how we
Right.
keep talking about Westerners dumping,
Right.
like used
Right.
clothes here. And it's becoming more
Right.
like,
Right.
making the place, dirty
Right.
and then like
Right.
so much to work on.
Right.
So we have countermantle.
Right.
So many things have happened in the past.
Right.
This is what people do
Right.
to feed themselves and
Right,
their family.
absolutely, yes.
So what is your take on the whole thrifts, industry as part of the fashion industry? Do you think we really need that? Don't you also think that it is also, pulling the fashion designers who are all the time trying to produce? You mentioned
Right.
that the price factor.
Right.
The people are able to get like cheaper clothing from this,
Right.
and it's not made in Ghana. Most of them are not made in Ghana.
Right.
What's your take on this particular one?
So again, sustainability, you're right, it has been misused or used inappropriately. But then again, look at sustainability in our culture, right? You can have a piece of clothing that you might wear and decide that you pass on to your brother, and your brother will pass it on to a friend after it's used. That's all part of sustainability. And again, the only difference is that these are imported clothing, right? It's unfortunate that it's not ours, but it is happening, and it may never stop because it is a source of income for people. It is business for people. It is a livelihood. But all we're saying is that when you import these clothing, you've got to streamline your processes. The end game, we should not see it in our water bodies. We should not see it in our gutters. What are you doing after that? Are you having a conversation with our waste off takers to take it and maybe repurpose it into something else, right? So that's a conversation we want to have. And then beyond that, beyond the sustainability, again, sustainability, what are you doing when you import stuff into Ghana and you're making money to help strengthen our local Ghanaian fashion industry?
Madam Hilary, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I love your brain.
You're
I love your brain.
Thank you. Very kind
Do you have
of
a great day?
you too.
Thank
you so
you.
much. I hope